Guys, and welcome to a new GTK tutorial. Today we are going to move on with another video about properties, and today we are going to see something new. Today we are going to talk about information which it is very important for you to understand it. And I'm going to back a little bit to GTK button. I'm going to choose its properties again. And here where we have those properties, for example relief, you saw that by setting relief, basically it's set, you can change its default value to a new value. We already saw that. Now of course you already noticed that the GTK relief style enumeration has more than one, and those things which they exist right there are those things which we are going to find out today. Today we are going to find out not about value. We are going to we are not going to find about its default value or something. Today we are going to find out about how we can find out how many values are available and which one are available for our property. This is the object of this tutorial for today. So let's get started. For this, first thing first, we are going to move on with our program. So this means at this point we need to declare some information. So again, gparam spec we need. Okay, and our spec, and then now at this point g object class find property should be for you not a new case. So g object get class, we need a class of a button, and of course the relief itself. Now that we have that information that the relief property exists and it is right there, now we are going to let's print it just to be sure again. Jprint the property name is, just to be sure that it's working. So for debugging purpose, if it's something going to mess up with our information. So g param spec get name, and then of course the spec. So let me compile it and run it. Works fine. So the name is relief, you see right here, which works fine. Okay, now that it's working, we are going to get its default value. So get the default value. We have no idea which value use, isn't it? Yes, this is the goal of this program, because we have no idea what kind of value it found out there. So for this we need to declare again a new one. So const g value, and then we are going to call it default value. Now default value, we are going to point it of course to g param spec get default value, and we are going to pass our spec. Now that we have the default value, because this is very important for us, we need this value to have it. Now we are going to print it. So print the available values. This is what we need now. We need to print available values. And for this, you know what? We are going to create a function print property values, whatever. It is not important right now for us. So default value will be of course we are going to pass it. So let us create now this function right here, which we are going to use now, and it will be void, and of course const g value, and of course the value. Now what do we need? We need some information. We need to declare some things, but we are going to come in a second what those are. So g type, the first one is we need a type. The second, we need a genome class, because we need to get a class. Enome, let's call it enome class. So the next one, we are going to need a genome value, because this is also important for us. So enome value, it will be called, let me put it right here, and of course, why not, const gchar, and here we are going to say value name. Okay, now that we declared this for variable which we are going to use, we are going to say the first thing first, get the type of the value. We already know this from the last tutorials which we used. So the type, we are going to point the type to gvalue type, gvalue type. So basically we are passing the value. Now that we have the type, which is very important for us, the next thing which we need, and I'm going to present a new function. It will be to get the enumeration class of the type, and for this we are going to say enum class. We are going to point it to g type class reference, and we are going to pass the type. Now before we proceed, let us see what's the story with g type ref. I'm going to go right here, g type ref. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I hate the thing that I need to search some functions and I cannot find them. Again, g type class, good, it should be here. It is not. So where is it? Why I'm not finding it? G type. Nope, 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 nope. Unref is right here. Something. Where exactly it is? G type. I meant G type. It is so much complicated when you try to find something. G type class array right here. Okay, sorry guys, the function itself is found inside of type information. whatever. The thing is that I found it. So it says it's a function which returns a gpointer void and says increments the reference count of the class structure belonging to type. This function will demand create the class if doesn't exist already. So the type ID of the class type. What exactly does this class like it says, increments the reference count of the class structure. So basically, this pointing the enum class pointer to this function, we are finding out, we are getting access of how to an array of how many possible values we can find out for our property in this case. This means at this point we are going to get the n values, so which are available, and for this we need enum, and then we need to enum class, and we need to access its information, which is, as you can see, there are some of them right here. And what do we need? We need the n values. Now the important thing about the genum class, let me go a little back right here, because this is very important. This structure is very important for you that you know it. genum class right here. You see, it says it is a class of enumeration type. The class of an enumeration type holds information about its possible values. So basically, this is information which you get it when you try to get a reference from that class. It is information which you get right here, which says the parent class, the smallest possible value, the largest possible value, the number of possible values, you see. And of course there is another structure inside the genum value, which is the next thing which we are going to use. And this genum value, it is basically the name and the nick, and of course the value itself, which is found out in here. So in here, okay, now that we got the enum class of the type, then from the enum class of the type we got the values, which we don't know how many are, but we are going to see in a second. So basically this value which is right now here, it is the value of how many property does have the array. We'll see in a second. Okay, so now that we have those values, we can then print those values. So for g in, okay, we are going to create a for loop, and is less than n values. We don't know how many values are, but we are going to see how many values are there. Semicolon, not double colon, and then we are going to increment it. And at this point now we are going to, of course, use our enum value right here, this one, and we are going to point it to the address of the enum value possible values which they are in the class. So enum value, and then value, enum value, and then the value, and of course its index. Now that we have this information, we can use the last one, the value name right here, which we created, and we are going to set now we are going to get the enum value, you see, and the value name. So right in a second we are going to see everything will be more clear for you. Gprint, and we are going to say, oh no, you with a, because it's an unsigned. I and value name. Now, what's the story with this information? Well, we found out that we have some values. We don't know which values are, but we know that these values right here, they are found out inside the enum class right here. So basically we got these values. We also find out that every value have a G enumeration value. So every class has a G enumeration value structure, and inside the structure there are also some names and informations. So basically what we did, we are accessing the value from the enumeration class, the value 1, value 2, value 3, 4, 5, how many they are, and of course we are accessing the value name, which is inside of that structure class right here. Again, the structure genome class has a genome value structure inside of it, and that structure which is inside of that genome class structure holds all those values which we need: the enumeration value, the name of the value, and the nickname of the value. Now let me compile it and run the program and see what happens. And says the subcreate value is neither array nor a pointer. So okay, because I forgot an S right here. And now we have another problem. Genome value has no member values. Genome value. Enum value. Okay. This means we have an enum value right here, and of course we have an enum class. Sorry guys, my bad. Now it should all work fine. Const. And yes, it works fine. As you can see, the property name is relief, and the parser values which we have is GTK relief normal, GTK relief half, and GTK relief none. You see, everything works fine. So basically this is what we found out now. I know it is a little bit complicated. I'm not myself an expert to explain you how these things work in different way, but the thing is which you need to understand is that the program flow works like this. First thing first, this function gets a value. This value, once that we have it, we are getting its type of this value. We don't know which value is, we don't know which type has this value. We are not even interested about this right now. Now that we have this value, we get its reference class where those types of values are inside it, and once that we get that reference to that class, we basically get how many values are inside it, and then after we know how many values are inside it, we are using a for loop to print them. And here it is very important for us to understand is that we are accessing basically the enumeration class and those values which are inside of enumeration class. We don't know also how many are, so that's why we are using a for loop which does this job for us, and we're putting in a value, and this value basically which we have it right now here, we are accessing it again. So basically we are getting a structure. Once that we have this structure, we are accessing this structure again to go more deep inside to it to find its value name. Once that we have its value name, we are putting in the value name variable right here, and then we print it. So this is how the program flow works. And once that you compile it and run it, you see we get that information: GTK relief normal, GTK relief half, and GTK relief none, which we are going to compare it again with its properties. So relief has GTK relief style, and GTK relief style says it has the same right here. You see GTK relief normal, normal, half, half, and none none. This is how you do these things, and this is how you grab this information if you need it programmatically to work with. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.